Well, hello friends, Mark Martella here for Legal Briefs. And as you can see in the background, I'm excited about Villanova making the Sweet 16. We'll see how far they go. I'm also tied for first in my firm pool, so we're having some fun this week. But what I'd like to talk to you about today is what happens at a creditors meeting. And what a creditors meeting is in bankruptcy is about 30 to 40 days after you file your bankruptcy petition, which starts your case. You have what's called a creditors meeting, and that's where you meet with the bankruptcy trustee. And that happens whether or not it's in a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13 case. Now, in a Chapter 7 case, a trustee is usually a private attorney like myself who's appointed by the court to conduct these meetings once a week. In a Chapter 13, the trustee is a full-time employee of the U.S. government. So whether it's a 7 or 13, what happens is you'll go to the meeting area in here in Southwest Florida. You're either going to meet in Fort Myers or up in Tampa, depending upon where you live here on the southwest coast of Florida. And what happens is, generally, in a typical consumer case, the meeting doesn't last more than 5 or 10 minutes. And what you need to keep in mind, the trustee's job is just to make sure people are staying honest and to see what assets there are, what non-exempt assets there are, and if they have to pay back anything to creditors. And one of the big misconceptions in bankruptcy is that you have to pay back a percentage of what you owe to your creditors. Well, nothing can be further from the truth. In a Chapter 7, if you qualify for a 7, all you pay back is what your non-exempt assets are, and that's a topic for another video. But at the actual meeting, eventually you'll be called. You'll go up to a small desk with your attorney. You'll be sitting across from the trustee. He puts you under oath, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. And the trustee will ask you questions like, did you review the petition before you signed it? Is everything in there true? Does it contain all of your assets and all your liabilities, all your income, and all your expenses? Then he or she may ask some specific questions about your case, where you work, how much do you make, when did you buy your car, for how much, when did you buy your house, those type of things. If there's any creditors there, they would then have the right to ask you questions. 99% of the time, there's no creditors there. The most common creditor there is someone representing an ex-spouse. And what often happens, and this is something where I was representing a creditor / ex-spouse, is that in a divorce, you have to disclose your assets. Well, the disclosure of assets in their divorce case often differs from what they've disclosed in the bankruptcy case. And so they have some explaining to do to the trustee why they didn't disclose all of their assets, or the values are lower, or the assets just seem to disappear between the divorce case and the bankruptcy filing when they happen very quickly. So after the creditors meeting, again, it should only last 5 to 10 minutes unless there's some major issues. You then continue your process. So that's how a creditors meeting works. I know my clients get very nervous about it. Really, there's nothing to be nervous about. If you've done everything properly beforehand, we're completely truthful, full disclosure, there's nothing to worry about, although it is extremely nerve-wracking, being examined by a trustee. And the final note I'll tell you is that in the trustee's room, right behind the trustee, sort of where my Villanova sign is hanging, there's a sign with a big seal of the FBI, and it says that the FBI investigates all bankruptcy crimes, and the biggest bankruptcy crime is perjury, by lying either in the creditors meeting or lying when you sign your petition. So again, as long as you're honest, you have nothing to worry about. So again, that's how the creditors meeting works. I hope this was helpful to you. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email at mark@markmartella.com, and I'll be happy to answer those questions. Again, until next time, I wish you a prosperous week.